To form a simple sentence in German, it is actually pretty easy. It starts with a subject and then a verb and then an object and finally any infinitives or participles that would go at the end of the sentence. So for example, ich esse einen Apfel. So ich would be your subject, esse would be your verb, and einen Apfel would be the object. There's also another way you can construct the sentence. In many cases, you can switch the first and third position. So you can switch the subject and the object. So that sentence could be said, einen Apfel esse ich. But most people don't do that unless they are indicating a time of day or a date or whatever. So normally your subject is going to come first. And infinitives and participles we'll cover later in later sections of DuoLingo. Questions. There are two types of questions. There are questions that require question words, like who, what, when, and where, and why, and all that. And then there are yes and no questions. The yes and no questions are, they're both types of questions are actually really simple. The yes and no questions are constructed with the verb first, conjugated verb first, and then the subject, and then the object. So, for example, isst du einen Apfel? So, are you eating an apple? The auxiliary verbs in English, so are you, do you, that are and the do, those auxiliary verbs are not needed in German. So that's why it's just ist and not another word and ist. Like in English, you say, are you eating? So are eating is longer, but none of that's needed. It's just one verb, one object, one subject, and one object. So, isst du einen Apfel? The question words are as follows. Wer is who. Was is what. Wann is when. Wo is where. Warum is why. And wie is how. And just like in English, if you are constructing one of these sentences, the question word comes first, always. So you'll have your question word, and then you'll have your verb and your subject and your object. So, for example, was isst du? So what are you eating? If you wanted to use another way to ask, I guess an example including an object in that would be wo isst du den Apfel? So where are you eating the apple? Just to show you that the object would come after the subject. Now again, infinitives and participles would come at the end of the question, but we'll go over that when they arise in a later section of DuoLingo. So that is your basics on sentence structure and question structure.